Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Moon Ephemera Emporium, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of the Steampunk Journey Journal. And this journal has 3 signatures with 10 pages each, equaling 30 pages, and also includes a smaller 24-page journal which I sewed in as well. So let's dig right in here. It comes with some free gifts. You get an anklet, steampunk anklet. It has a closure up here. It's as you can see, it's on there, but it can be taken off. These can be taken off too and used as key rings if you want, or earrings, whatever you want, or you could just keep it as is. There's a few little doodads on there. These also come as a free gift. The cord I had on there before was not period appropriate, so I put on some black suede, some little travel goggles so you don't get any wind in your eyes when you're traveling on this journey. I'm kidding. Okay, here we go. So it just closes with this little closure here. You tie it shut. I'm going to flatten this down because it needs to open up, but it needs some support too because I don't want it to wobble around. This bookmark actually comes out. You'll see. Okay, and here we have a flap that flips up. It actually opens up this way too. Opens this way. Oh, you can't even see. You have your maps in there for your travels. These are removable cards. You can cover that up if you want. There's some extra goodies in there to do that. Here's the first map of America. The overall map. The travels. I'll put all this in later. Well, no, I'll put it back in now so I can show you. Oh, I'm terrible at these videos. Oh. So that goes like that, and this just locks it all into place like that, and then you have a little flap to close it there and cover up my wretched writing there. If you don't like that writing, you can cover it up. I added some stuff you'll see later. Here's the second map. I'll just put a little bit of distress ink on there on the creases. This is coffee dyed, hand dyed, coffee dyed ephemera. And that closes. This flips up. Show the full thing there. In case you get lost and forget which airship you're in. You are in airship number 17 and the code is 327. I suggest you memorize that so you don't have to come to this spot too often. We have a pocket here, the little goodie. This flips out. You have another pocket here with a receipt for some parts and labor, I think, on the airship. Some last minute oils and things that were needed. I've backed that with an old dictionary paper. Just inked the edges there to add to this little happy piece of ephemera. That just sits nicely in there. This is the original front cover of the book. This was a bird field guide book, which I took some of the innards and wove it into this book as well. So this is the bird flight migration pattern all along the Gulf of Mexico down there, and this is where this story all ties in because they're flying in the same areas. You'll notice there's 3 maps in this book, and they all coincide with this original backing of the story. This kite is sewn in from, let's put this back together, I'll show you how. When I sewed these pieces in, that is the kite on the other side. I sewed those little cogs and wheels in there. Okay, onward, upward we go. Here we have one of those miniature CD case windows. I just inked the edges in some forest moss and some light corner stamping. Back here I did the script stamp, and inside you have your little piece of steampunk ephemera. Well, it's not really ephemera, it's just a print, but you can call it ephemera if you want to. This is where it gets interesting. Okay. We flip out. Flip out. Got an accordion file here. Started with trains. Fascination with trains when he was young. And inside this accordion file we have some goodies. That's how it looks inside the accordion file. And in here we have an envelope that has a few extra labels that have been aged, inked. Got a light bulb for an idea, and some coordinates. So those are nestled nicely in there, and there's plenty of room for these little labels all throughout the book. Wherever you decide you need them, that's where they should be. I might have to go back and age that, do the edges a little bit more. Here's some freebie papers just to play with. You can make a notebook out of this. There's a labyrinth in here, puzzle, and these are some coffee dyed papers that I dyed. You can see the edging on those. So those can be tucked in anywhere. Here's an old note that it's parchment paper, and there's some of those labels there. I take parchment paper and dip it in coffee and green ink, and I get this effect. And the green ink is just a food coloring dye that you use in the kitchen. I found it on my kitchen shelves. There's the little area of interest where some trading happens, so I think that's one of the maps that were kept for this little story. And that's not stuck in, that's separate. You can stick it in if you want, but I figured I'd just include that area of interest. And then a Tim Holtz card, of course. Had to include one of these little freebies. Gotta love the Tim Holtz cards. Just so you can see, a store-bought piece compared to some real ephemera. It's kind of nice to have them side by side. So all these little goodies go in the accordion file. And here in the middle we have more flippy flips. Flippity-doo, flippity-doo. This is, these are the original airship models that this inventor was working on. And in here we just have a Victorian calling card. That lives in there. And there's a secret pocket in here somewhere, but I didn't put anything in it. I don't know where it is. Somewhere in there. That's just a placeholder. Not aged at all, just a placeholder. This is a piece of ephemera that I made from an envelope, and it's a matchbook notebook. Look how cool this is. Got some writing paper there. I just took an old business envelope, added some strips and ink and creases, and popped this together. I really like it a lot, and I'm going to add this into my mass make. I'm going to make a bunch of these. This will be a mass make item. Matchbook notebooks for just some quick notes. Here's a little envelope that I distressed, and how does it open? It opens here somewhere. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Ah, just breathe. I left this open and didn't glue these down like you normally would, because I wanted to leave the recipient some room to play, do whatever you want with that. You can even put another whole sheet of paper in here, write a letter, and seal it up. Get all your little placeholders back where they belong. Get in there. Okay, and then that closes up, and that flips up completely, and you have some writing space there for your chart, maybe your weekly chart, something you want to refer to often. This will be, you know, like set in stone. This doesn't move. This is just something. So put something important here, and then you can laminate it, keep it from getting ruined or anything. Oh, look, there's the secret pocket. There's another map. Haha. I haven't aged this one yet, but I did coffee dye it, so you can see that it's been coffee dyed. You can kind of see through it. I'm out in the light, in the sunlight doing this, so it looks kind of cool. Wee! Figured might as well do this outside where it's nice. So yeah, I need to go back and distress the edges on that, maybe. So there's that. Okay, and here we are on to the signatures. You can see that bookmark is removable. It's just a piece of corrugated cardboard. Okay, so we have 3 signatures with 10 pages each, equaling 30 pages. There's your, I added a little pocket there, London Times, your little newspaper. Did some distressing there, but it's plain white on the back, so you have some writing space there. You can add lines if you want. Have some nice little journaling space. We're not in frame, are we? No, we're not. Okay. I left these pages pretty plain. This is what came on the paper, because I really like the airships and balloons and the coordinates and the clocks, so didn't really need to add much to that. It's a little ticket tuck. Here's where you can see I sewed in the signature. I left the string there in case you want to do anything with that. Put some little baubles to hold it up or down. Turn this into a bookmark. So many different possibilities. More writing space, more writing space. Oh, and I taped the edges shut. These are 2 pages. So on some of these pages you're going to find, each one is a pocket. On some of these pages you're going to find little goodies, like, what's this? Early version of an airship. I didn't put things on every page, but I did put things on a few of the pages, and I will tuck a few more in for fun before I seal this up and send it off. Because it's always fun to find little extra goodies, you know? So that's the first. first signature. There's another pocket with coffee dyed note that I did, just to show that there's a holding place there. You can do that with any of the places where there's a spot, looks like a pocket. You just put your pocket on. And card, journaling card. Some ephemera that's not aged or inked or dyed or anything. It's just a plain piece of paper. Let the recipient play with that and figure out what you're doing with that. This I did do. This was cute. It says Fly Away World. So I took and made a little booklet out of it. It was supposed to be 3 separate little cards, and I made this little booklet, and I put one of my coffee dyed papers in there, and this little German ad that I flipped in there with some washi tape. I think I used forest moss. I love that dark green for the inking and stamping. Fly Away World. I love that. So cute. So yeah, he was in Paris in the early days. That's when he was younger. Here's a little pocket that it goes. This was a piece to a larger envelope that I cut down and used for different parts of this, and this was just one strip I had left. So I turned this into a little pocket. And you just have a little journaling card there. Another pocket here. This is some really old ephemera from Amsterdam, I think. And I just pasted this on an old business card because it's very fragile paper. It's so old that it's like turning that beautiful natural vanilla, whatever color. I covered up his picture there with this pocket. There were too many pictures of this guy in here. I mean, he's like on every page. So I was like, okay, enough of you. See, there he is again, peekaboo. And here you can add a pocket if you want, because it's a good spot for a pocket. And of course, this is taped. Any edges that are taped shut like this have pockets in the top. So again, here's some pages that this I think is beat dyed paper. Beat dyed paper and plain paper, writing paper. This is where the second signature is sewn in, and at the top I did, oh no, that's on the next, I don't know what I did there. We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. And on the other side of the signature, beat dyed paper, taped paper, lined paper, and then you have an upper tuck. Nothing on this side, but there is something on this side. Another one of those little notes. Does this have anything on the inside? Nope, it's just plain green paper. But that's good, because then you can do whatever you want with it. This flips out. This is where the little notebook is. The 24-page notebook is here. It's just plain paper, little journaling book. You have a card here. This was also a cutoff from one of the larger envelopes that I put together. And you have a piece of coffee dyed paper there just as a placeholder. There's the guy when he's older and he's traveling into America. And his papers from there, I think. I don't know. Okay, so on the other side of this, we have a flip up here. There he is again. He's upside down. And we have some coffee dyed paper here, just a little notebook to take some notes, some quick tear off notes. Coffee dyed paper, lined paper. Oh, I got a piece of a dictionary page in there. Just tie it in there. That flips up. Then you have a pocket here with some goodies, placeholder, another envelope that is not glued, tied, bound down. Open to your idea. This journal actually gives the recipient a lot of room to be creative, which is very good. That's what we want. So that you get inspired to do your own thing and make it yours. I could have made these pockets a little bit not so tight. They're a little tight, but hey, they're in there, okay? Alright, that flips down. Then we have, this closes up. That's connected to that. Turn that over, and here you come into the third and final signature, which is the original book. Old-fashioned, very old-fashioned, crinkly pages. These are coffee dyed, tea dyed, coffee dyed, and green ink stained, and then inked as well. So they're a little messy, but they're really fun. I mean, you can see how I've done the layering on the edging. And you know what? You can always put lined paper in here and write on the lined paper and put it in here, or just add to this. You can put butterflies, fairies, whatever you want. Some coffee dyed music note. That's where I sewed the signature in. More music note, and the rest of that signature. And I just placed a doily in here. You can remove it pretty easily. It's just barely glued in there. I just did that for an extra little touch. But if a man receives this, maybe he might not like that, so you can always rip it out and do something completely different with that. This is very versatile. So that's the end, and then I have this as a placeholder for the back, because there's the back map again that you want to keep secret, maybe, or maybe not. You could also use this as a tuck for whatever you decide to put in there, because this is just a placeholder. You can turn this into a book. There's nothing on the back. You can turn this into a little book, add some signature or two to it, small ones, tuck it in there. Not a whole lot of room for that, but there's a little bit of room. So just some creative ideas on this book. Let's put the bookmarks back where they go. That goes there. And then this ties the front. With this, you also receive the free traveling goggles, and if as an after thank you present, get that, get the goggles, and get these 2 free prints. This poster is printed on heavy cardstock, 160-pound cardstock, easily frameable. And this beautiful picture of Nikola Tesla that is printed on glossy paper, which also can be framed. So these are just my thank you gifts, because this is my very first book. I'm very excited about this, and I wanted to do this as professionally as possible. I know my video skills are not that great, but I'll get better in time. So there's my journal. You can see it on my pages and the links below. I'll include all the links to my sites there. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.